Sup, I'm a stick figure, and that's it for the introduction. Today I want to talk to you about having a group mindset and the potential dangers of social bandwagons. A bandwagon is what happens when an idea or behavior gains momentum in a group and more people start following it due to its popularity. A long time ago it took quite a while for an idea to spread because all anybody really had was word of mouth. Then as technology became more advanced, we gained the ability to communicate quickly over great distances. This has generally been a good thing, except that bad ideas have access to the same resources as good ones, and there isn't really a committee that decides what does and doesn't become popular. As a result, large groups can adopt behaviors which range from illogical but harmless to just plain unethical, which ends up making the entire human race look bad. One good example of this is prejudice. I cannot for the life of me figure out why one group would irrationally persecute another other than that everybody's doing it, so it must be okay. To be fair, a prejudiced mindset is often passed down through many generations, so for some people it's all they really know. But that doesn't excuse them from seriously thinking about their behavior as individuals and coming to their own conclusions. Sometimes I feel certain that bigotry could end in a single generation if every otherwise logical person would stop letting their respective groups control their opinion. Which isn't to say that mindlessly agreeing with something hasn't done any good. I'm assuming that the spread of tolerance owes some of its success to its own popularity, now that not hating someone arbitrarily has become socially acceptable and cool. I'm just saying that I think you should have a legitimate reason for whatever it is you believe in. I, for one, can respect someone who has an intelligent reason for disagreeing with me a lot more than someone who agrees with me for no reason at all. Of course, I understand the wisdom and humility in holding the majority opinion above one's own. In certain cases, a consensus is even necessary, such as to define art, which is why the Mona Lisa is considered high art and not, say, this incredibly detailed drawing of a computer pixel. Working together, a group of people can accomplish beautiful, incredible things. But it's probably a good idea to put some serious consideration into whichever stance you take before committing to any major decisions, such as enslaving an entire race or committing genocide. We've had to deal with this sort of thing for a while now, but with the advance of technology, ideas can now spread faster than ever, especially on the internet where entire social movements live and die in days. Do you remember the Kony 2012 campaign? A while back, a video went viral that urged its audience to contribute to the cause of capturing African war criminal Joseph Kony. A noble cause, to be sure, but the video was mainly an emotional appeal that did not present all the information, such as other ways in which one might help the residents of Uganda. Now, maybe I'm starting to sound pretty cynical, but I actually can see that this sort of thing can do a lot of good. In a very short amount of time, a large group of people managed to spread a very serious message, that there are people out there who desperately need help. Situations such as this can bring mass awareness to existing social issues, allowing the previously uninformed to become involved. The problem is that if you only watched the video, then you weren't completely informed. Your attention would be directed away from other ways of helping, like volunteering or donating towards food, medicine, or education, since this video presented only one way to make a difference: catch the bad guy. In order for a social movement to succeed, it must go beyond its inspiration and organize as a group of individuals with a full understanding of what it is they are contributing to. But in this case, the whole thing just sort of fell apart after the charity endorsed by the video came under scrutiny for the use of its funds, and the maker of the video lost an argument with public decency laws. Now, this was a bit of an extreme case, but bandwagons on a smaller scale occur on the internet on a daily basis. If you're on Facebook, then you've probably seen one of these: an image coupled with a short message that will appeal to a multitude of people, along with the request that you click on a button to show that you like this and validate the creator's existence. These people prey on our humanity by finding some common ground and exploiting it. They may single out our fondness of something, or maybe some irrational pride in something we had no control over, such as the decade in which we were born. Then there's fear, like the fear of being killed by some dead girl or being sent to a fiery pit. And of course, the appeal for support, where one like equals one respect. Look, I'm no Gorokado, but I am pretty good at math, and those units don't exactly work out. The worst are those that demand sympathy for people in different situations, because obviously I'm the bad guy for not liking their suffering, right? Well, except for the fact that I'm not the one exploiting their circumstances for a bunch of superficial likes. Maybe this all seems like nothing more than a nuisance, except that it runs the risk of convincing people that all you need to do to make a difference in the world is to sit at your computer and click away, that alone is enough and you won't ever have to actually do something if you want to help someone. But liking a picture to save the world is like painting flames on your car to make it go fast. So naive it's almost adorable, but still completely pointless. The notion of following trends has not gone unchallenged, and as a result, a sort of anti-bandwagon has formed in counterculture groups such as the hipster subculture, wherein one would purposely reject the mainstream because it's too mainstream. The irony in being a group that wears out-of-style fashion ironically is that they have now become their own bandwagon, with their own label and recognizable style and behavior, so they're really no better off than anybody else, and kind of defeat their own purpose. Shunning another group's behavior for its own sake is probably harmless and maybe even healthy if you're a young adult trying to find yourself or whatever, but this behavior of being so arbitrarily contrary is seriously detrimental to humanity when expressed in politics or other situations where big decisions depend on dialogue and compromise. Here a thoughtless group mentality may bring you together as a party, but it will divide you from everyone else, and create the one situation in politics I hate above all others, when someone acts not in accordance to their own ideals, but instead bases their behavior on being contrary to the actions of another group. They will treat every difference in opinion as if it were a battle of good versus evil, and assume that if the other guy, who is clearly always wrong without fail, behaves a certain way, then I must do the polar opposite. This breeds extremism and the ridiculous notion that everyone has to oppose each other instead of working together towards a solution. It divides us and makes us create conflict by assuming that people with different viewpoints automatically have to be enemies. Liberal versus conservative, theist versus secular, American versus everywhere else. This is what causes people to vote for a political party instead of a candidate, or better yet, an ideal. Maybe it has something to do with seeking the approval of others within the group, in which case, yes, people will judge you for what you stand for. You can't escape the fact that there will always be someone who disapproves of your decisions. It's okay to seek approval. In fact, I encourage it. It means that you care about others' opinions and are willing to listen to what they have to say. What's important is not that you seek to be accepted by as many people as possible, only the people that matter. And in whatever you do, make sure you have the right reasons for it. Because in the end, no matter the outcome, your reasons do matter. And that's pretty much all I can think to say about that for the moment. I don't really have a lot of experience concluding videos, so I'm just gonna go. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video if you want to go to heaven, or ignore if you want to burn in the flames of hell for all of eternity, where you will be raped by 12-foot-long barbed penises.